All right, Cole, just your season in particular, you really seemed to improve as the season went on. Just when you look back at it now, what are you going to take most from this past season?
And honestly, I haven't really thought about that on what I'm going to take most. Yeah, like you said, I did feel like there was some progress, and that's kind of my mindset, is just always try to improve and always trying to get better. So, I mean, looking back briefly, yeah, I feel like I've done that. So it's a good start, I guess.
And then the obvious storyline is going to be the possible change that's coming, new general manager. How much thought have you put into how different this team could look come fall?
I mean, those decisions are not decisions that I make, right? I just focus on what I can do to improve as a player and as a person, and to help this organization out. And whatever decisions are made, I trust that those are the right decisions. And yeah, like you said, it's going to be a exciting off season for everyone. So yeah.
I mean, there will be a new GM. That's one change for sure. And usually, a lot of times, not usually, but a lot of times when a new GM comes in, they maybe get carte blanche to get their own coach and that kind of thing. If you guys were to get a new coach, I think that's like the fourth name you have to deal with in like a calendar year. I'm wondering how much does this team just need consistency? No matter what happens this offseason, just going forward the next however many years, how badly do you guys just need kind of consistency and just know, what the plan is from all assets of the organization?
I mean, as players, I feel like we have a good understanding of what the plan is, and that's to get ourselves in the postseason, right? And to do whatever we can for that. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not really too worried about the different names that we've had in the past or now or anything like that. It's more so just kind of taking care of your own business and trusting that your teammates are going to do that, and then from the whole organization throughout are going to take care of their business as well, and to kind of get on the same page to ultimately be still playing hockey come this time of the year.
This season started with turmoil, obviously, with the Babcock situation. Pazzi steps right in there. What was it like playing for Pazzi as the head coach?
He's an extremely hard worker. He's dedicated, loves the game of hockey, and obviously not ideal for him to kind of be dealt that situation. But knowing him, he obviously took it as an opportunity, and as an opportunity to do what he wanted to do. And he's been wanting to be a head coach in the NHL for however many years now. And yeah, Pazzi is. We got a great relationship. He understands the game of hockey, and I like playing for him.
And last one I got for you is, are you an established veteran now? Is that what you feel like? And when you go into the off season, do you go into this off season maybe even differently than your first couple? Kind of knowing what it's going to be like, and do you attack it any differently?
I don't think I'm an established veteran. I think I have some things to learn as well, or a lot to learn. But with that being said, yeah, 200 plus games now. It's crazy that it's already finished my third year. And yeah, obviously I feel like you always try to learn new ways and grow and treat your off season a little differently, because game's evolving, times are changing, players are getting faster, more skilled, quicker. And so yeah, I'm always trying to look for ways to make my off season a little different for the better. And that's something I'll be doing this summer as well.
Cole, thanks for spending time with us. I wanted to ask you, how was it for the team this year, even though you guys weren't going anywhere, it looked like, to have 18,000 people in the seats every night instead of 3,000 or 4,000?
We all say it, right? We have incredible fans that are very passionate, very underrated fans. I don't think the league kind of understands what we have here. We love playing in front of them every night. They're our backbone of our team. They're our energy. They're everything to us. So yeah, it's our goal to give them the opportunity to still play in here and give them more exciting hockey and the most meaningful hockey.
Cole, you may not think you're an established veteran, but we saw some young guys here in the last week or so, Malatesta and Brindley and Luca obviously come up. You're right there in that age group. What has your experience at a young age done for you, and how do you think it'll help you as you go into year 4 next year?
I mean, yeah, I was drafted with those guys. It's nice to see them have some success. Obviously, Del Bell coming up last night and having a good shot there and getting a goal, and obviously Brins and Jimmy, we call him Malatesta. Yeah, so yeah, it's weird because I mean, like you said, like they're my buddies and they're but I feel like I have obviously some more games than them or more experience, but for me over the last 3 years, it's been peaks and valleys, up and down. I think those are messages that I feel like I can relate if any other players go through that, or if they go through that, and that it's a process, and to just keep believing in yourself and believing that there is a plan and there is light at the end of the tunnel if there is some down moments or anything like that, but also just to enjoy being in the NHL and enjoy being a professional hockey player. I mean, don't take it for granted. We got the best job in the world, and we're young guys. We're still kind of kids in a way, and this is what we want to do, and we'd be doing it for free.
Yeah, but that's invaluable experience for you, right? As a young player, to have 200 games under your belt already, how can you use that to your advantage next year, maybe, just having been there and having been through so many different experiences?
I think just the mental side of everything, right? Just being that much, I guess, understanding more about the game and the way you need to play, the way you need to prepare, or I guess I need to prepare and I need to play to have success, and to help the team out to have success, and just, I guess, some leadership skills and things that I value and I watch to see, and watched kind of what I take upon from our older veterans and just guys around our locker room. So yeah, it's nice to have experience. Experience never hurts. I think it always helps. So yeah, it'll be a good summer, and a good next year, I guess.
And speaking of summer, what are your plans? You're going to go home? You're going to go to Arizona? Where will you spend most of your summer?
Kelowna, BC. Nice. Yeah, I'll be. My parents live in Scottsdale, and then I'll be out in Kelowna with my brothers. So it's like the California of Canada. They got a lot of good training groups out in Kelowna. So I'm looking forward to kind of meeting those guys and being a part of that group.
And Cole, through your success this season, do you feel like there was one part of your game that maybe had a big improvement compared to last year that really helped you?
Again, I think just the mental side of the game. I mean, I've always knew I'm a good player and a dedicated guy, and a guy that always wants to get better. And but I think for me, it's just when you have those little dips or maybe moments where you're not feeling great, or the puck's not going your way, to be able to kind of stop it and reset versus letting that drag on. I feel like that's a big difference from my first couple of years to this year, is that if I was to get in that state, then it was to drag along for a while, and I had a tough time stopping it and resetting, and then getting back to knowing where I can be or I can play. So I think that's just the biggest difference, honestly.
And Dave was also talking about the younger players coming in that are your age, but you may have some more game experience than them in the NHL. Have you felt a little bit of a leadership role this year, and what have you learned about being a leader in the NHL so far?
I think for me, when we have those guys come in, like I said, obviously they're my buddies, and I watch Cleveland a lot with my brother being there and with me being there last year, trying to make a playoff push. So I think just the kind of leadership role that I think I took on this year is when those guys come up, make sure they're feel welcome, feel part of the team, and just kind of go from there. And if they have any questions, to try to guide them in the right way, and to help our culture go the way we want it to go.
Do you leave? I mean, you mentioned a lot of young names. You're a part of this young kind of youth movement type thing. Do you leave this season encouraged of what's to come, no matter the changes that are coming with GM, coach, things like that? I mean, do you leave encouraged that there's, I guess, help on the way? Seeing the success that Cleveland is having, seeing the young talent that's here.
I mean, how could you not, right? We got a lot of good young talent, like you said, but not only that, we got a lot of good players. We got a lot of good skill. If you look at our lineup up and down, the veterans that we're surrounded by as young guys, and just kind of through and through our lineup. And like you said, the guys in Cleveland, I mean, how could you not be excited to be a part of this group? And we all want to, make it work and get to the level where we know we can be at.
Cole, back here. Kind of bouncing off of that, since you came into the league with this team, there's been so many changes. More we've talked about are coming. Is there any kind of excitement to kind of turn the page, get some stability, and see what this team can do if things kind of are settled for a little while?
Yeah, anytime there's a kind of an end to the season, it's not a relieving feeling, but it's nice to kind of just look back on that and to kind of go through your pros and cons and areas of where you think you can improve and areas where maybe you would have done things a little differently. And then that kind of creates your hunger for the summer. And then obviously when there's an opportunity to start a new season, everyone wants to start on a new foot. Everyone's excited. Everyone's, kind of fresh and ready to go, right? And all healthy. So, this offseason is going to be obviously interesting with our new GM, but I trust that whoever that is going to make the right decisions and is going to leave our whole group very excited for what's to come.
Cole, what's the focus for you this offseason?
As far as on on my game, I think for me, honestly, the agility, the lateral movement, I think that's one thing where I can add to my game, and anticipating plays, I think more in the O-zone, I think will lead to, more looks, more chances, more opportunities. I feel like as the season went on, I was getting better and better at that to create space for whoever I was playing with or myself, and I guess to get more O-zone chances. I think the game's so fast now that it's not how fast you can go in a straight line. It's how fast you can go from here to here to here to here. And you see guys that are so agile on their feet. Even just fans watching him at practice, coming back, didn't get to practice with that guy for a while, and having him back in practice, he's like, ooh, it's quick, he's agile, It's good to see, and I think I can add that to my game and just keep improving on the little details of my game, face-offs, shooting the puck. I think that's one thing I can do even more is when I get myself in those positions to shoot the puck and I guess score more goals.
Well, Kent, the obvious question: how are you feeling, and what's your time frame for being back to full health?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Everything's moving along really well so far, so I'm really feel good about it. And I'm going to meet with the doctors tomorrow to do the surgery. So hopefully get back on the ice pretty soon. I'm feeling good about it.
Up until the injury, how do you feel like that your season went?
It was pretty up and down year, and I think really important year, and a lot to learn for me. And I feel really good about it going into next year. But obviously, there's times that weren't great and whatnot. But I played some really good hockey at times too, and I feel confident going into next year.
And Kent, the season overall, you guys were in this position last year. Does this season feel any different at all, even though the standings are pretty similar? But is there a different feeling that you're noticing amongst the team?
Yeah, I think every year is going to be a little different, brings different challenges or whatnot. It feels different for sure.
I haven't talked to you since the injury happened. What happened on that play? Did you just get your arm kind of locked up, or you try and tie you up? Or?
I don't really know. It happens quick. I don't know exactly, but I think there was a hit day before even that. I wasn't really feeling 100% the shoulder, and it's obviously frustrating when you have injuries. You're always like, what could I have done better to prevent it or whatnot. So it was frustrating, but definitely something to learn from. And it happens. I feel like it's been good for me. It happens for a reason, and I feel like everything's just gonna go the way it should, and I feel fine about it.
When it happens in that scenario where it's the end of the game, the game's decided.
Yeah.
And that's just, is that the one that kind of rolls around in your head a little bit, like, I can't believe the timing of this?
Yeah, no, exactly. Even because I don't take many face-offs, I was so excited, getting in there so low and kind of stupid and whatever with 11 seconds left. It's frustrating, but I mean, it's a competitor in you, so I can't really be too mad about it. But yeah, it happens. You move on from it and learn from it.
Have you ever had a long-term injury before to really deal with this?
No, I've never really missed a game like my whole career before. So yeah, it was something different, but I think something good for me. A lot of time, away from hockey and just kind of, it's good learning opportunity. I feel like just as a person, and obviously there's a lot you can still do to train for your hockey. Like I've been doing lower body lifts, since the injury. So I think, maybe it'll be a good thing for me. So hopefully it can be a blessing in disguise.
Ken, speaking of training, what is your off-season plan? I know there's been a lot of talk about you bulking up and that type of thing. What is your off-season plan for that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, like I said, I've already been going at it pretty hard on the legs, and yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to add strength, and I really want to get faster this summer as well. I think I can do a better job at that, and yeah, I think it'll go well.
And the big obvious story in the offseason for his team is going to be finding a new general manager. Just what are your thoughts on that situation? Is that something that maybe they'll ask for input from the players? And what will you say about that impending search?
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue. Like if I have to ask input or whatnot, yeah, something I guess I don't really think about much. It's obviously pretty out of my control, and yeah, it's new situation for me. Obviously, first time in pro hockey, something like that, but. I mean, that's pro hockey, so.
Does this make you the coach for the ball hockey team now? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, well, probably not. Yeah, we'll see how the recovery's going, but it's funny.
Will you go back home this summer?
Yeah.
Like how long will you spend in Vancouver versus back here?
Not sure yet, but yeah, I mean, I'll spend a lot of time in Vancouver. I think there's really good training there, and yeah, I really like Vancouver, so definitely spend a lot of time there. But yeah, not sure yet when I'm coming back.
Way back here. Hi. Kind of bouncing off Mark's question, a lot of changes are going to be coming this summer. Is that something that's kind of an exciting feel of things kind of moving forward, or is there a little bit of anxiety, nerves with that? Maybe a little bit of everything?
Yeah, I think it could be a little bit of everything, but definitely I think, especially once people get hired, there's going to be a lot of excitement, and yeah, I know. I think the guys in the room. We really believe in that we can be something special, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later. But I know we got to do it right, and yeah, I think we really believe in the future here.
So definitely a positive feeling.
Yeah, no, for sure.
This is your first time you mentioned dealing with this major injury. What did you learn from that experience?
I mean, I don't think I really ever took hockey too for granted, but just. I mean, it's humbling, really. Like, it's like you can't play. Like, I'm literally what I get paid to do. Like, I couldn't do it. So it's definitely, super humbling. And, you just kind of makes you just want to even, for me, like, do even better at it and really, do what I'm paid to do. And, also, make my family and make everyone proud. Like, I know they probably, miss watching me. And it's a pretty cool feeling. So I definitely just, how lucky I am to get to do what I do. And, just even more excited to get back.
So seeing Gavin Brindley's debut last night, all the obvious Michigan connection, can you just say how excited you are to the possibility of playing with Fantilli, with Brindley, with Blankenberg, and so on, and excitement for the team as a whole as well?
Yeah, it's definitely really exciting. All the young guys, all the guys, even they weren't at Michigan, but it's pretty funny, like cool connection, like so many of us now, and yeah, guys joke with us in the room about it, but it's awesome, and yeah, it was cool. Like I met Gavin a little bit. He seems like a great player and a great kid. So yeah, I'm excited to keep working with him.
We head into the off season, as was mentioned earlier. Still without a GM. I think there's some uncertainty around Pascal Vincent as well. Just because of that, a lot of GMs want their own guy. There's a lot of uncertainty, I guess, in general. But I'm wondering, from your perspective as a player, how beneficial would it be for this team to just start getting some consistency around here, year to year, so that you know what to expect, so it's not always everything changing all the time?
I think there's a lot of uncertainty in everything in life, so not something I'm gonna dwell on or be like, oh, I need all this certainty or the team needs to have success. I think we can't really focus on that. We just gotta focus on just rolling with the punches and doing what we can. So I'm don't really need to comment on that for me.
We talked about a lot of this obviously the other day, but when you look back on your rookie season, you only got about half of it, a little bit over half. Was that enough for you to kind of like tailor your off season and know exactly like what you want to work on and how you want to be, a different player, even if you do want to be starting next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always known what I need to work on most in those areas. I don't think it's a matter of how many games I played to realize that. I think going into every summer, there's a lot of aspects that I want to work on to perfect and to become the best player I can be. So going into this summer, I obviously know that there's certain gaps I want to close with the best players in the world, and obviously some of these guys that I've gotten to play with this year have been really awesome, and play against has been really, really cool. So just how far behind you are and how much work you have to do to get to those levels that you want to get to. So it's gonna be a fun summer.
You kind of led into my next one, which was, what did you learn? What's your biggest takeaway from your rookie season?
There's a lot of things that I learned. I mean, I learned quite a bit about the locker room, like being around the guys, the travel, just playing as often as we do. We have a great group of guys in there that helped me acclimate really quickly, so that was awesome. And it's just learning to be a pro. Coming out of college, obviously it's a completely different lifestyle, playing on the weekends and practicing during the week. So getting used to living that pro lifestyle and taking care of your body and having your body and your skill level and all that be your job was obviously a lot of fun for me. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. So just learning how to manage that and be the best pro I could be.
When we talk to a lot of the veterans in here, sometimes we'll tend to ask about this being one of the youngest, if not the youngest team in the league in sort of a negative way, that's as if we're blaming the record on just the youth. You're part of the youth movement here. I mean, how much do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy being part of the youngest team in the league? Do you think that, that you guys can kind of bond together and do some special things as a young team?
Yeah, I mean, we got a great group of guys here. The veteran guys, the younger guys, everybody in between. It's a lot of fun. Like, you got guys like Silly, like KJ, like Blankenberg. We called up Malatesta, Delbel, Brins. All these guys are young and skilled and excited to learn and become pros and to establish themselves. So I think we got a lot of guys that have a lot to prove in this league and are going to work tirelessly to do that. So I'm really excited to see how big everyone's offseason is, how hard we can come back next season. Obviously, not the results we wanted this year, so next year hopefully we can change that.
Adam, what does it take to build a culture of winning in your mind?
I think the closest teams win. That's kind of what I've learned throughout my short amount of time and playing with guys over 20 years old. But even at Michigan, we were always told the closest teams win, so trying to be as close as a team. I mean, we got obviously a wide range of ages, and guys have kids, and guys have a lot of other things going on in their lives. But when we're on the road, it's really good to be around each other and love each other and want to be with each other and make each other better. So just being as close as we can in the locker room and wanting to push each other to get better, I think that's what builds a winning culture.
And what was it like for you to work with Pascal Vincent? I think a lot of players talk about the way that he communicates. Is that something that stood out to you with him?
He's definitely very, very focused on leadership. He's something that he's studied, and he's told us that he's studied quite a bit, and he's tried to get our camaraderie to become a pretty big part of our culture in the room, and he's done a lot of things with the short timeline that he had to get ready for the season to help us be the type of team that we want it to be. I mean, he focused on small habits and small details and constantly trying to change things and make us a better team. And obviously, like I said, it wasn't the result we wanted, but he did a great job with us this year, and I was very happy to be able to play for him.
When it comes to, obviously with the youth movement, the word potential comes up a lot, and I'm curious what you think about, turning that potential into production, or what that next step looks like, whether it be this summer, whether it's working with these younger guys to kind of, what does that next step forward look like for, whether it's you, whether it's guys that are, that just maybe completed their first taste of what the NHL is?
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of potential in our locker room, like you said, and We have a lot of guys that have quite a bit to prove. Or like you said, we're all young, and we got a lot of maturing to do. But I think every single year that you're in the league, every single game you get in the NHL, every single practice you get to be around NHL guys that have been around for hundreds of games. So maturing that way, maturing in our own bodies, maturing mentally, and just becoming the pros that we want to be, I think is the next step, really.
Adam, way back here. Hi. You talked about your rookie season, learning a lot. Well, you came into this kind of crazy start to this season. A lot of changes are going to happen this offseason. Do you think, along with being close and becoming successful, part of that is consistency? And are you looking forward to having some consistency with this team so you guys can build even a closer bond?
To be honest, there's not much consistency in what we do. I mean, we're constantly changing where we're playing, the environment we're playing in, and you got to be able to perform with things changing around you. So we can't really have an excuse in that sense. Obviously, there's going to be new management, and we're all excited for that. It's going to be really exciting, and hopefully that can bring us in the right direction and get us to where we want to be. But external things shouldn't really be too much of a effect on how we play, because our environments are constantly changing, so we got to be able to perform under that.
What were your top memories, top highlights of the season for you personally?
First game was pretty special. The guys made that such an experience for me, just coming in and having them be so welcoming, and just getting that first game out of the way, first game jitters. That was obviously something I'll remember forever. It's every kid's dream to do, and watching Gavitt do it yesterday, it just brought it back, like how that feels to get that done, and going back to Toronto and playing in front of all my family and friends, and that was pretty special, and just going on the road trips. I mean, I loved our road trips, like going down to Florida and Dallas and stuff like that, having the team dinners. I just love being around the guys, so that type of stuff was the most fun for me.
Did you ever get revenge on the tape gate when your equipment was taped up? Have you found out who the culprit was?
Yeah, I know exactly who it is. I'm going to do nothing about it. Not someone I can get back, so I'm just going to have to take that.
So it was good, Branson.
Little bit of a lighter note, but unfortunate injury to you and to KJ. So I'm just kind of curious how that dynamic worked. Kind of being together with both. Like, would you help him out in some ways? Would he help you out in some ways? Trying to adapt.
Yeah, I mean, I was cutting his steaks at dinner for 2.5 weeks, so I'd just reach over and help him out there. But yeah, obviously we're really close friends, and we're roommates on the road, so we spent a lot of time together during the season, and when we were injured, it kind of just happened that we would be doing the same thing together. So we spent a lot of time this year. Obviously, it's unfortunate to have injuries like that, 2 freak accidents, but what can you do? We play professional sports. Injuries are part of it. You got to learn to grow with it, adapt to it. So yeah, you just got to come back stronger.
You seem like the kind of guy who kind of thrives if you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. This team in general, I don't know how much you pay attention to people talking about it or whatever. Not a lot of good things just because of the record. Is that concept, of maybe having the team grab a chip on the shoulder and put it on there, could that be a boost for you guys, and a way for you guys to kind of climb?
Yeah, I think you should always have a chip on your shoulder in that sense of always having something to prove. For us, it's very easy to find something to prove next season. We didn't have the record that we wanted. A lot of third periods, we didn't have the result that we wanted. So coming back next season, we know that the type of things that we got to change, the type of things we want to prove to ourselves and to everybody that might say negative things about our organization and our program. So yeah, it's pretty easy to find those types of things for us to have a chip on our shoulder about.
Just this season, I guess when I think about your season, it was you went through a lot of tough moments. Obviously, you wanted to be down there. There was a numbers crunch here, kind of thing. But the way it finished, felt like you kind of made a statement a little bit on your own about what you can bring to the table here. Was that one of your goals? And do you feel like you got that done?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always something to prove. I feel like all the way to the end, like even last night, it's game 82. Both teams aren't really playing for something meaningful, you could say. But my approach was always to come in and prove something every day. I think the injury I sustained last summer played a big role in that start of the season that was a little slow. I think there's a certain explosiveness that you get in your lower body when you're playing consistently, and when you go through an injury like that, it was tough to get back. That last 5 to 10%, that really makes a difference. That took some time, and we knew that. But they also have to, manage the lineup, and if I can't be 100%. And play to the best of my ability, then they got decisions to make. Now, I don't think that was the only reason that we went through those tough moments at the start, but it definitely played a role. And once that kind of went away and came back to normal, then that's when kind of, for me personally, the season took off, and I was able to, kind of get back to what I was doing last year, and in my opinion, even do it better. So.
When you have such a young team, I think just by default you're going to have a lot of different line combinations and things like that. I think this was a season of close to 100 line combinations. There's a lot. But you've played with Sean Corrali quite a bit the last couple of years. Do you feel like you and him kind of have chemistry, whatever it is, that going into next year, you feel like at least you have maybe one line kind of figured out no matter who plays with you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a line that's a little different than the others because we play a different style, very straight ahead of hockey, physical. On the forecheck, we've talked about this numerous times, but we take pride in playing that role. I think it's much needed. Curls and I have a great relationship. We communicate well. We have some chemistry on the ice as well, and even this year, once we figured out, okay, we're most likely not going to make playoffs, the thinking was get ready for next year and keep building that chemistry. That was something that came back a lot between me and him, and whether it was Danny with us or anyone else, I think Malatesta did a great job coming up. He was awesome on our line too. Putia did a good job as well. I think the thinking was always, you guys, this is our line, this is what we do. And that's not going to change night in, night out. And we want to produce, obviously, but we're going to produce in a different way, and we're going to provide energy.
What does it mean to you to have the coaching staff have confidence in you to put you on the penalty kill? You got your first shorty this year.
Yeah, I've throughout my career, I've always been a penalty kill guy. It's fair to say I haven't been a power play guy much, but penalty kill has always been in my game. Obviously, we have guys that are extremely good at it, and to get an opportunity to show what I can do, it was good. I think it went well. And, like I mentioned, it was always part of my identity as a player, wherever I played. Even in Nashville, I did some penalty killing. So it was good to get back to that for sure.
How long does it take for your body to heal after a season like this?
Well, I was just talking about this. Usually after a season like this, and especially the way I play the game, which is very physical, I always have bumps and bruises, and I usually take 2 to 3 weeks completely off just to reset everything. And fortunately, this year I feel pretty good. And it's weird to say because it's been probably one of the most challenging seasons I've had physically, as far as how the games were played, when I went through during the games fighting, all that kind of stuff. Very, very challenging. But fortunately enough, I was able to stay healthy. And so I feel good. So I'm ready to, put a lot of work in this summer. I don't think I'm going to need a lot of time off this year. And usually that's not a good thing to say, but with the way I was playing and the way I was able to come out of it this year, it's a good thing.
So what are your plans for the summer?
We usually just go back home to Quebec City. My wife and I are from there. So go home, see some family, and got everything set up as far as training and skating and all that. And we're just going to enjoy family time. I mean, the office, our wives do such a good job with our families when we're not there. So this morning it was easy for me to be like, you can sleep in, I'll take care of it. But I want to give her some time to reset as well, and then we'll go from there.
Matthew, so the way that this season ended is similar to last season in the sense of where you were in the standings, but do you feel like there's more optimism in the room going into this offseason? Why or why not?
Yeah, there is. I think the way we the second half of the season, the habits that we started showing day in, day out in practice, we've shown some of it in games as well. I think it's trending in the right direction. Now, obviously, I think there's a lot of work to be done. I think, you know, our guys all know their individual assessments, but also as a team, you know, there's some things that we got to do better. But overall, I think our work habits day in, day out got a lot better. As a young team, that's a big step. You know, some of the older guys on the team, they really tried to make sure that was hammered home this year. And, you know, the things that you can control, that's what you want to really bear down on. And we did a good job at that this year. Now, results weren't there. I think everyone's disappointed in that, but now is not the time to look back. We've got to look forward and get ready for next year.
In a league-wide trend, especially about fighting, it seems like they're just kind of going on the downtrend. How have you had to adapt, and is that something that you feel like that's just going to become less and less in the league, just from your perspective?
I don't think so. I think, you know, I'm going to bring it to Matt Rempe coming into the league. I think he really showed that, you know, there's always someone coming in the pipeline that, you know, could be scary out there. So it's still there. I think I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I think there's different reasons for it, but you know I think he's just an example of why it's going to stay around. And let's not kid ourselves either. There's an entertainment factor to it as well. People like it, whatever the narrative is, or for certain people, most fans. People like it. I know Nationwide Arena always gets up when it happens, so there's certain value to it as well.
Kind of dovetails right into what I was going to ask you. Glad you brought up Rempe. You were one of the guys that actually had some success in a fight against Rempe. I'm wondering, since that, we know how word kind of spreads in the NHL among players. Did it get kind of difficult for you if you wanted to have a scrap or anything or whatever? Did you feel like your reputation started to kind of precede itself with players maybe a little bit?
I don't know about that. I think I just kept playing the game the same way, and I think can't speak for everyone else, but I think I'm a hard player to play against, but I'm also honest, and it kind of stayed par for the course for me after that, as far as playing the game and just doing what I do out there. It's the best answer I got for you.
You've been here 2 years, seen a lot of young players come and go and come again, come back again from Cleveland. You mentioned Malatesta earlier. Some of the young players like him, do they kind of stand out sometimes right away? Can you look at him and say, I mean, it seems like he plays with a lot of confidence. How much did you enjoy playing with him, and just kind of your thoughts on his game?
Yeah, as far as Mally goes, he came in and right away had no fear, made an impact. I mean, his first game he had 8 hits and he got into a fight. I know I didn't do that in my first game, so. You know, he found a way to have an impact beyond the stats, and then it started coming on at the end there. He started to produce. He had 2 good games to finish. You know, playing with him is super easy because he just plays straightforward hockey, and he works hard, he skates, he's on pucks, he's physical. He also has some, you know, playmaking abilities. Obviously, he's a Memorial Cup MVP, so he was great to have come in. I think Putia did a great job as well. He came in. He's extremely smart. One of the best defensive sticks. You know, as far on the ice, we were talking about it between the guys. Like those 2 guys really came in and did a good job. But you know, everyone else as well. It's not easy for anyone to come up here and most of those guys have to change their role. And I think everyone did a good job. But Malatesta, I think he came in and really fit into that role that he was trying to do.
Matty, just one question on your off-season plan, and especially with some of the things we've been talking about. People know you're not afraid to answer the bell at any time. Players talk about skating in the summertime. How much do you work on that side of your game so you're ready for whatever might come your way in terms of the physical stuff?
Well, it's all related. I mean, obviously the gym is super important. I think keeping your strength up and making sure that when you're in that role, you have to be one of the stronger guys on the ice. So that's really important. I've been playing, I go back to juniors, been doing this since juniors, and I think experience and the lessons I've learned in the past have played a big role in how I approach that. But I'd be lying to you if I said it was a main focus in my training. I really focus more on the playing, the skating. I think a guy like myself, strength isn't really an issue, but staying lighter on your feet's a good one. So training's revolved around that. That's kind of how I approach my summer. But obviously, one of my strengths is probably how physical and how I'm kind of a strong guy on the ice as well. So it's about maintaining that as well. But it's a mix of everything. But I mean, I don't really plan that much around that part of the game. No.
When was the last time you pulled off a between the legs shot or tried to? Before last night?
Never.
Never?
Never.
First one?
In a game, yeah.
Yeah.
This is my first one.
Is it just like something that comes to?
I mean, I watched the play. It was pretty much the only play I had because I was on my backhand and Marty, the goalie, came out. He was out of his crease. Pretty much the only. I had a guy on my back, so just made a read in the moment and worked out. Yeah.
Kenny McCudden was smiling somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. Probably was. We never worked on that, but I'm sure he liked that one. Yeah. Yeah, I get. Yeah. He's... All right. Thanks, guys.